All right, here's the part you've been waiting for, the countdown. Here are 10 fun facts about praying mantises. Number 10. Mantises can fix damaged limbs by shedding their entire body through the molting process. So if a young mantis has a damaged limb going into a molt, the new exoskeleton that forms can restore better function to that limb. It's not as straightforward as regenerating a limb like what salamanders and axolotls can do, but it is still pretty cool to get a functional upgrade on a damaged leg just by growing a new shell. But as cool as this feature is, it has one catch. The catch is that once a mantis reaches adulthood and completes its final molt, that window closes for good. Whatever condition their body is in at that point is what they're working with for the rest of their life. It's a simple but powerful reminder that youth is only for a season and that mistakes made while you're still young carry less permanent weight than those same mistakes made when older. Number 9. Praying mantises can change the color of their eyes. During the day, their eyes carry a lighter, greener tone, blending right into the leaves and branches around them. But as the sun goes down, something shifts. Their eyes darken, growing deeper and more intense, almost like they're putting on a pair of natural sunglasses built for low light. This happens because of something called a pseudopupil, a concentration of pigment inside the eye that migrates and shifts in response to changing light levels. It's not a trick, it's not a filter. It's the mantis's own built-in system for adapting to its environment, 24 hours a day. So during the day, mantises will use this to camouflage and hunt their prey, but at night their eyes will get darker to help them hide from their predators. Number 8. Some mantises not only have camouflage, but they also have aggressive mimicry. Meet the orchid mantis, possibly the most beautiful of ambush artists. This mantis doesn't just blend into flowers, it becomes one. Its body is shaped and colored to look exactly like a delicate flower petal. And it works so well that bees, butterflies, and other insects that have spent their entire lives finding real flowers fly straight toward it, drawn in because it looks like the perfect bloom. Now that's aggressive mimicry, when a predator disguises itself as something harmless or even desirable to lure prey in close. The orchid mantis doesn't chase anything down. It simply waits gorgeously and completely still and lets its prey come to it. But that same disguise works in reverse too. If predators are scanning the garden for a bug-shaped snack, all they will see is another pretty flower. Number 7. Like cats, mantises may be obsessed with cleanliness. Once a praying mantis has finished eating, it does something you might recognize your cat doing. It starts grooming itself, methodically and thoroughly, just like a house cat. Using its forelegs and mouth parts, the mantis carefully cleans every part of its body. Legs, antennae, compound eyes, working through each section with a laser focus. If you've ever watched a cat clean its face after eating, you've basically seen what the mantis does. But here's the thing, this isn't just neat freak behavior. By removing every trace of scent from its body after a meal, it makes itself nearly undetectable to both predators and future prey. No smell, no signal, no evidence that it was ever there. So, is the praying mantis obsessed with cleanliness? Maybe. But it's also just really good at not getting caught. Number 6. Mantis nymphs can do something called controlling angular momentum. Scientists using high-speed cameras discovered something remarkable when they watched young mantises leap between branches. Mid-air, the mantis rotates its front legs, hind legs, and abdomen, sometimes clockwise and counterclockwise simultaneously, to control its own spin. It's calculating the angle of its target surface and adjusting its entire body to match it, all before it lands. That's controlling angular momentum, which is the same physics principle used by Olympic divers and platform jumpers to control their body position mid-flight. The difference? Those athletes train for years to master it, while the mantis is born with it. Number 5. Mantises have misleading eyes. When you look at a mantis from any angle, it seems to lock eyes with you instantly. That dark spot in its eye, staring directly back at you, following you wherever you move. It feels personal, even unsettling. But here's the truth, that pupil doesn't really exist. What you're seeing is called a pseudopupil, and it's a pure optical illusion. The mantis has compound eyes made up of thousands of tiny tube-shaped lenses called ommatidia. When you look at a mantis, you're seeing straight down the tubes that are aimed directly at your angle. Those tubes absorb light rather than reflect it, creating a dark spot that appears to follow you wherever you go. The mantis's eyes aren't tracking you. The geometry of its eye is just making it look that way from every direction to every observer, all at once. In other words, everyone who has ever looked at a mantis has felt like it was staring directly at them, and everyone was right and wrong at the same time. Number 4. Praying mantises only have one ear, and it's not even on their head. The mantis has one ear tucked into the center of its chest, and this ear doesn't do what our ears do. It doesn't pick up footsteps, voices, or music. It has exactly one job: detecting the ultrasonic frequencies that bats use to hunt. That's it. That's the only sound this ear cares about. Because for a mantis, missing that sound once can mean it's the last thing that ever happens to it. The moment a flying mantis hears those hidden hunting calls, it doesn't even use its brain to react. Its nervous system triggers a super fast reflex that instantly slams the brakes, folds its wings, and sends the mantis diving out of the sky to trick the hungry predator. One ear, one sound, one job: survival. Number 3. Mantises are the only invertebrates known to have stereoscopic 3D vision. Researchers at Newcastle University crafted miniature custom 3D glasses, smaller than your fingernail, and fitted them onto mantises to test something extraordinary. Could this insect actually see the world in 3 dimensions? The answer was yes. But the way the mantis uses that vision is completely different from how we use it. Its brain only processes motion. It ignores everything static and locks in exclusively on movement to calculate exactly how far away a target is. In other words, if you stood perfectly still in front of a hunting mantis, you might as well be invisible. But the moment you move, it already knows exactly how far away you are. Those tiny 3D glasses didn't just confirm that mantises see in 3D, they revealed that somewhere along the way, nature invented an entirely different version of depth perception. Number 2, female mantises don't always eat their partners after mating. We've mentioned that after mating, female praying mantises usually eat their partners. However, out in the wild, scientists estimate that this only happens between 13% and 28% of the time. The dramatic numbers you may have heard come almost entirely from laboratory settings, where the male is stressed, confined, and has absolutely nowhere to go. In nature, the male mantis is a completely different story. Wild male mantises are extraordinarily patient and calculated when approaching a female. They move in slowly, carefully, often approaching from behind, and only when she's already distracted with a meal of her own. The whole operation looks less like a romantic encounter and more like a carefully planned stealth mission. In other words, the male mantis doesn't just show up. He does his research, reads the room, picks his moment, and executes with precision. Number 1. The praying mantis has inspired entire fighting systems. For centuries, Chinese martial artists studied the mantis very closely. Its lightning reflexes, its precise striking angles, the way it traps and controls before it strikes. Taking all of that in, they built 2 distinct styles of kung fu around it: northern praying mantis and southern praying mantis, which are both still practiced worldwide today. Legend has it that the northern praying mantis style was born when a martial artist named Wang Lang watched a mantis take on a cicada. Lang lost himself so completely in what he was watching that he captured the insect and spent weeks studying every movement it made. The hand traps, the explosive forward strikes, the absolute economy of motion, no wasted energy, no unnecessary movement, just precision. He didn't just watch an insect, he took notes. The result was a fighting philosophy built entirely around the mantis's core principle: wait, trap, strike, and make every single movement count. Thousands of years later, martial artists are still following the mantis's playbook.